We've got a lot to dig into today. In today's episode, we are going to be going over an aesthetic that is up 4,000%, an eBay change that could potentially wreck your store, and figuring out which sleeve type to pick when it's just a regular everyday sleeve. All that and more coming up in today's episode. Welcome to the Reseller Recovery Podcast, where I invite you to reflect on your week, discuss all things business, and talk about what is selling right now. All right, so let's first start with this new eBay change. So eBay recently announced either by email or eBay messages, or maybe some of you guys saw it circulating on the internet, but eBay is deciding to make a change on the way that they present to the buyer and also in our drafts, the way that they present the condition. Similarly to other platforms, eBay is now going to require that not only do you pick that it is pre-owned condition, but you'll also grade that pre-owned condition. This is starting January 23rd, 2025 for anyone in Australia and February 4th for anyone anywhere else. I know most of my viewers are in the US, so February 4th is when this change is going to take place. Starting then, you're going to be asked to not only select pre-owned, but you'll also be asked to select some options for whether it is considered fair condition, good condition, or excellent. I'm not going to get into too many of the details because a lot of YouTubers have already covered this, but the good news is that they do give you some sort of description as to what that means. According to eBay, the reason they are doing this is to grow trust with buyers, provide a better experience to get the right items to the right buyers, and reduce the risk of returns where a buyer is getting something they don't realize has a flaw. According to the messages that we got, all existing live listings with the pre-owned condition in select categories will automatically transition to pre-owned with the good value on the launch dates mentioned. Starting February 4th for everyone in the United States, all of your pre-owned items are going to switch over to the pre-owned good condition. According to eBay's definition of pre-owned good, that is gently used with light signs of wear and or visible flaws. If eBay automatically defaults and you do nothing else, your items that are free of flaws are now going to be shown as having flaws. What I'm most concerned about with this change is that buyers are probably going to be able to filter when they search to excellent, good, or fair, and what buyers ever really going to pick anything except for excellent, which means if you've got something with a flaw, or if it doesn't have a flaw, but it's automatically defaulted to the good condition and you don't change it, once buyers check that excellent filter for pre-owned condition, they're not even going to see your listings. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, I'll just put everything as excellent condition no matter what. It'll be a simple click, I'll do a bulk edit, and that way buyers will see all of my listings. You will significantly increase your rate of getting an INAD on a return if you do that. So make sure that you are accurate and get your listings changed to what's appropriate. Now, for sellers who have larger stores like myself, we've got a little over 7,000 listings. This is a big task to take on. And I'm going to be honest with you that I am not sure that I have a 100% solution as to how myself and my team are going to navigate figuring out how to get all of our listings correctly changed to these new categories. I definitely want to capitalize on any of my listings that do not have flaws and mark those as excellent, because I think the short window of time after eBay changes this, there's going to be a big opportunity for the people that do immediately change their listings to the excellent pre-owned condition to capitalize on a bunch of sales. And on the opposite side, I also see if you don't do that, that your sales are probably going to tank. Because again, most buyers, if they're using filters to search, are going to filter you completely out of the equation if you've got anything less than excellent. This is also making me think about my sourcing strategy moving forward. Prior to this, I was still listing things with flaws. We actually do sell a lot of flawed items, but I'm worried with these new potential filters that buyers are going to have that they're not even going to see my listing. Moving forward, we're going to have to be a lot more cautious, at least on my team, about how many flawed items we are actually listing, because I just simply do not think that they are going to be shown to a buyer. My team have been brainstorming, but undertaking this for over 7,000 listings is definitely going to be a big task for us. I will keep you guys updated with whatever we choose to do. But I will tell you what tends to happen with eBay is every single time that they make a major change like this, where sellers are required to go and individually edit a lot of listings, usually they wait until it actually launches, and then a bunch of sellers complain that there's no way they're going to be able to go through and edit all of these things, and then eBay is forced to provide an easier solution. So I'm hoping that once this date arrives, eBay will have a better solution for us and be able to offer us, hey, this is how you can easily figure out which one of your listings have flaws, which ones do not, and here's how you can start to apply this. That is my hope. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but historically, that is what has happened with every major change eBay has done. As a backup, myself and my team are going to start to notate which ones of our listings actually need changed. Again, I'm currently brainstorming ideas and I haven't settled on an exact one. If you have any ideas for your own store, go ahead and put those in the comments below. Did you guys know about this change and what are you planning on doing, if anything? All right, moving on. I was doing some Google Trends research, as I do pretty much every single week, and there was something that kept popping up that I noticed. At one point with the certain search terms that I had, this was actually an increase of 4,000% in this particular aesthetic. And it's not an aesthetic that you're probably thinking of when you think of the term aesthetic, but it is heavily influential. And that is Taylor Swift outfits. Now I'm going to be real honest with you guys. I am really sick of hearing about Taylor Swift. Honestly, that's not even hating on her. Like, she's doing a phenomenal job, obviously, but she's just everywhere and it's all over the place. And like, I can't go anywhere without hearing about it. To be honest, I'm just kind of sick of hearing about her. But that doesn't change the fact that she is uber successful and a ton of people follow her and love her. And that shows in the data. If you're someone like me who is pretty much sick and tired of hearing about Taylor Swift, I still think that you want to research it in terms of reselling, because pretty much anything that this woman is doing, you want to be aware of because you can capitalize on it and make some quick cash. So like I mentioned, I was doing my research and I noticed that certain specific Taylor Swift aesthetics were popping up. I'm going to share a couple of them with you today because I thought it was pretty interesting the way that Google gathered the information. One of the two that I wanted to talk to you guys about today is the Lover outfits. I saw tons of stuff taking inspiration from, I guess it's her Lover album, her Lover tour song. I'm not really sure. You can tell I don't really listen to Taylor Swift much. I have heard a few of her songs. This one kept regularly popping up, and when I searched Taylor Swift Lover outfit just to get an idea of it, I went to the Google Shopping tab, and Google's AI actually pulled some interesting information that I thought would be really interesting to share with you guys on today's episode. So AI defines it as an outfit that invokes a sense of whimsy and romance, lots of pastel colors, hearts, flowers, butterflies, so very feminine stuff. Alternatively, you could do black and white pieces with newspaper prints or small, subtle mesh accents. The goal is to capture the album's atmosphere of joy and optimism. It even gives suggestions of dresses and tops that fit this aesthetic. And I thought they were actually really, really on point. There is a lot of pastels. With Taylor Swift on Google Images, we have a ton of sequins and bling for a lot of her stuff. This was a theme and pretty much any of her different aesthetics, lots and lots of sequins and shiny things. This dress in particular caught my eye because I've seen a ton of brands making dresses like these very playful ones. Sometimes they call them house dresses. They're fairy inspired. They are usually pastel, multicolor, whimsical. I've noticed a lot of brands have come out with that over the last year. I'm wondering if they took inspiration from all of these pastel details that Taylor Swift has. And then alternatively, another one that kept frequently popping up was her Reputation outfit, which was, it looked like this. It was like a snake jumpsuit, black and gold. From this outfit came snakeskin prints, metallic finishes, darker colors. And as you can see, Google is suggesting some of those products to you. So why are we talking about Taylor Swift today, and what does this have to do with reselling? Well, as you might have gathered, pop culture really spreads out into all areas of popularity, including clothing and outfits, which means that things that celebrities are doing, TV shows that come out, and movies that go viral are the things that are influencing the things that we want to pick up. A lot of resellers do not do any research on what is going on in pop culture, but if you did, you would be able to pick up on a lot of style-based pickups and capitalize on those quickly. For instance, snake jumpsuit thing that Taylor Swift was wearing, that's making snake stuff popular. People that can't get or don't want to wear the exact outfit she has are going to look for things that are adjacent to it. Paying attention to what is trending, what is going viral, especially in different celebrities, and pulling the factors out of the aesthetics that they embody can really help you to make smarter decisions if you are someone who style-based sources. Plus, if you already have some items like this, you might want to include the keyword Swiftie in your title. I personally am going to be on the hunt for very whimsical, soft pastels, lots of all over sequin blingy things, and anything with snakes on them. Taylor Swift has so much influence that I'm thinking about doing a deep dive just for myself into everything that sells, either from Taylor Swift's merch or anything just related to it. Because when I was doing just the little bit of research that I did for today's podcast episode, I noticed a ton of things, not just her merch, which sells insanely well, but also I noticed some sellers were capitalizing on adjacent things that embodied the style of Taylor Swift and what she wears in her concerts, and they were making tons of sales. Plus, and this is just a small tip for you, but when I was on Poshmark specifically looking some things up, I noticed a ton of as seen on Taylor Swift items. So I did a little deep dive, searched ASO Taylor Swift. There was a ton of everyday brands. Specifically, Anthropologie was one I noticed a lot of stuff that she had worn, and they are items that I definitely would have just passed over at the thrift store. In total and complete contrast to what we just talked about, I have a men's BOLO for you. This is one that I came across while doing some research for the BOLO list for Reseller's Edge. Okay, so these men's, specifically in the men's department, men's Osiris shoes pre-owned, there are 380 available and 255 sold. Now, not a 100% sell-through rate, but pretty great sell-through rates, and definitely something that I was passing on before, kind of like a Y2K style skater shoe with some heavy-duty tongues, although not always. These would be some things, especially if I saw wear on a lot of them, that I might be passing on, but I'm definitely now going to be on the hunt for them. And this just falls right into the Y2K aesthetic category that everybody has been searching for. I recently worked with an eBay advisor to look for opportunities to grow my store. One of the main things that she focused on with me was my dropdowns. Previously, we were filling out dropdowns, but we would only really fill out the ones towards the top that we felt would make the most difference in our search. This advisor pointed out to me where eBay actually counts how many people are using that particular filter, and how even if it only says 1,000 compared to 100,000 for another dropdown, 1,000 is still potentially 1,000 more impressions that my item could be getting. And so, to make a long story short, after that conversation, myself and my team have been working really hard moving forward with new items to fill out as many dropdowns as we possibly can in our eBay listings. And it has made a difference on my impressions. Because we were not familiar with filling out every dropdown, we had to relearn what was in every dropdown and make sure we understood. One of them in particular that was catching my team up, and I know for you guys, because you've asked me in the comments or on live streams, that has tripped you up, is what do you pick in the sleeve type if the sleeve is just like your everyday plain sleeve? eBay unfortunately does not spell out definitions or offer pictures at this point of what they mean by their dropdowns, so we're basically led to guess. I have done research on most of the sleeve types on there, but there are two in particular that I use if it's just a regular everyday sleeve. I'm not saying this is the right way to do it, but I tried to think about what the buyer would actually be selecting if they were presented with these options and were looking for those shirts. Here's what I came up with. If it is a short sleeve plain t-shirt, I select casual sleeve. If it is a longer length, whether it's a 3/4, a half sleeve, or a long sleeve, and it doesn't fit into the other sleeve types like flare or cap sleeve, I will pick classic and fitted. That is what we are currently doing because I think that's what buyers are going to select when they're presented with the options. Again, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, just answering a frequently asked question. Remember, filling out that drop down and picking something is better than just leaving it blank. And one more tip, do not type your own into any of the drop downs because it doesn't pull in search. So moving forward, consider clicking the sleeve type on the drop down to help yourself in the algorithm, even if you've got a super plain t-shirt. Consider going back on your listings on anything that might be Swiftie related and add the keyword Swiftie into your title. I would also recommend that you guys do a deep dive on Taylor Swift aesthetics and what's trending that can really help you out and pick up some great style-based pieces. It is actually insane what some people are picking up that is not Taylor Swift branded at all, but they're able to sell because they market it that way. And make sure you are on the hunt for those Osiris skater shoes. If you guys would like to be notified when the next podcast episode goes live, do not forget to subscribe down below and hit the notification bell. And if you'd like even more info on what's trending, consider joining Reseller's Edge today, where myself and 3 other coaches keep you up to date on what to look for and how to list those items. Link is in the description. But that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.